What happens when the man who's been the foundation of an entire community for decades returns fundamentally altered, ready to dismantle everything he once protected, while the woman who controlled Port Charles through sheer force of will discovers she's lost control of her daughter, her secrets, and possibly her sanity? And what if I told you that in the middle of all this chaos, a woman is about to discover that the terminal disease she's been living under was a complete lie, manufactured to control her? And the revelation comes at the exact moment when children are exposing deadly secrets and a dead man's voice is driving someone to paranoia. General Hospital is about to deliver 2 weeks of television that will fundamentally reshape the show's landscape, and nobody watching is prepared for what's coming. Hey everyone, Anderson here with Soap Pulse, and today we're diving deep into the spoilers that have the entire General Hospital fandom absolutely losing their minds. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because we break down every twist, every secret, and every scandal coming out of Port Charles. And trust me, you're going to want to follow along for what happens next. So let's talk about what we know. According to the spoilers dropping for the 2 weeks starting July 6th through July 17th, Steve Burton is returning as Jason Morgan, but this isn't the Jason that fans have known for years. His time away, specifically his time in captivity, has apparently changed him so profoundly that when he returns, his decisions about how to live his life are going to impact Danny, Britt, the Quartermain family, Anna, and most critically, Sonny Corinthos himself. Think about what that means for a second. Jason Morgan has always been the enforcer with a code, the loyal soldier, the man who'd take a bullet without hesitation for the people in his inner circle. He's been the moral compass in Sonny's criminal organization, which sounds contradictory but has somehow worked for decades. When a character that central decides to fundamentally change how he operates, everyone in his world has to recalibrate. But while Jason's transformation promises to shake Port Charles to its core, there's another storm system moving in, and her name is Carly Spencer. The spoilers make it abundantly clear that Carly is in a rage unlike anything we've seen in recent memory, and when Carly doesn't get her way, everyone around her feels the consequences. She's furious about multiple situations happening simultaneously. Her daughter Jocelyn is involved with the WSB, and Carly wants her out immediately. She's bickering with someone identified as Z, demanding that Joss be removed from the spy organization, but Z isn't complying with Carly's demands. Instead of backing down, Z apparently tries flirting with Carly, which you can imagine goes over like a lead balloon. Then there's Britt Westborne being back, which sends Carly into another fury. On top of all that, Carly has been hiding fugitive Valentin and facilitating secret visits between him and his daughter Charlotte, and when Lulu discovers this betrayal, the fallout is going to be explosive. So Carly is simultaneously fighting to protect her daughter, dealing with people from her past she'd rather forget, and being confronted by a mother who's rightfully enraged that Carly orchestrated months of deception. The spoilers do promise that at least Carly's boyfriend returns soon, and based on the context, that appears to be Valentine himself. But even that reunion comes with massive complications because Sonny doesn't approve of Carly being with Valentine and is apparently going to take active steps to destroy that relationship. When your ex-husband is plotting to sabotage your love life, you know things are complicated. But here's where the story gets really interesting, because these 2 weeks aren't just about Jason and Carly. There's a web of interconnected secrets, lies, and revelations that are all coming to a head at the same time. On Monday, July 6th, the action kicks off with Sonny teasing Ethan at General Hospital about getting shot in the backside while protecting Ava, which would be amusing under different circumstances. That same day, John Oliver's run as WSB head concludes, which represents a significant shift in the spy organization. Vaughn, who happens to be Jocelyn's former WSB handler and ex-lover, is also back in town, adding another layer of tension to an already volatile situation. Meanwhile, something is happening with the kids that's going to have serious repercussions. Danny is mocking Rocco, telling him to be a hero again like he was when he shot Colum. Danny wants Rocco to come clean and get Jason off the hook for something he's being blamed for. But here's the problem. Danny doesn't know that Joss has already cut a deal, and more importantly, Rocco is absolutely not going to go against what Jason specifically told Rocco instructions to keep quiet, so the kid is caught between Danny's pressure and his loyalty to Jason's orders. But Danny isn't the type to let things go. According to the spoilers, very soon Danny is going to go tattling, and he's going to name names. On Tuesday, July 7th, Danny reveals a hidden truth, and it looks like this is when he blabs to someone that Rocco shot Colum. Think about the shockwave that information sends through Port Charles. A child pulled the trigger, and now that secret is out in the open. Meanwhile, Carly is in an absolute rage on Tuesday, ticked off about Britt being back and about Joss still being in the WSB despite all her demands. There's also a showdown between Willow and Tracy happening that day, and based on the spoilers, they're in Willow's office when this confrontation goes down. Willow may be wondering if Tracy is the one who's been framing her, which would be a logical assumption given their complicated history. But the truth appears to be even more twisted than that. Michael is having some doubts around this time. He may be rethinking a plot to get Chase and Willow to cheat, or possibly rethinking just sitting back while Brooklyn sets Willow up for something she actually did. This is where the moral complexity gets really fascinating. Brooklyn is apparently framing Willow, but for something Willow genuinely did, which raises the question of whether it's really a frame job or just exposing the truth through questionable means. The spoilers suggest that, honestly, Willow deserves what's coming to her and more, implying that whatever she did was serious enough to warrant consequences. On Wednesday, July 8th, Sonny warns Carly to be careful, and this may be about Valentine because he's returning to Port Charles soon. Somebody needs Rick's legal expertise, and it could be Curtis or Isaiah, or possibly Willow, who's definitely going to need serious legal representation given everything coming her way. Molly makes a difficult decision that might involve bailing out on a book tour if Cody can't go along with her. Trina and Porsche bump into each other, but things are going to be awkward between them, suggesting unresolved conflict. Lucas confides in Liz that he may be worried about Sidwell beating the charges and getting free, which would put multiple people in danger. He's looking to rely on both Ava and Liz during this difficult time. Thursday, July 9th, is when Elizabeth's suspicions really intensify. She hasn't let go of the fact that both Drew and Jack had strokes at the same house, and she's absolutely right to be suspicious because that's not a coincidence any reasonable person would overlook. Two people having medical emergencies in the same location screams foul play, and Elizabeth is smart enough to connect those dots. Willow suffers a setback that same day. With Sidwell arrested, there are no more paralytics being administered, which means Drew is going to be able to move soon. Combined with the frame job she's dealing with, it's just a lot for Willow to handle. Brooklyn gets put on blast after Tracy's confrontation with Willow. It may dawn on Tracy that Brooklyn is setting Willow up and working with Lucy to orchestrate this whole thing, and if Tracy realizes her own family member has been running this scheme, she's going to call Brooklyn out hard. Tracy has never tolerated deception, especially from her own blood. Then, Friday, July 10th, delivers what might be the most emotionally devastating revelation of these entire 2 weeks. Britt gets really big news, or rather, it's revealed to her, and according to the spoilers, Lucas is going to give Britt life-changing information that she never had Huntington's disease. Let that sink in for a moment. Britt has been living under the shadow of Huntington's, believing she carried this devastating genetic condition that would eventually destroy her mind and body. Every decision she's made, every relationship she's sabotaged, every moment of despair about her future has been based on believing she had this disease. And it was all a lie. The theory in the spoilers is that Jocelyn might have been conscious enough to overhear Colum when he was villain monologuing to Cassius about how they tricked Britt into working for them by falsely claiming she had Huntington's. If Joss heard this and tells Lucas, and Lucas tells Britt, imagine the emotional whiplash. The relief of knowing you're not dying mixed with the absolute rage of knowing you were manipulated with a fake terminal diagnosis. The psychological impact is almost unimaginable. Also on Friday, Ava has questions for Ethan, possibly about him confessing he's not really Phoenix's dad, and 2 former lovers are set to reunite. The spoilers suggest this is going to be Valentine and Anna, with Valentine potentially returning Friday since Jason is coming back the following Monday. But this reunion isn't going to be simple or romantic because Anna is dealing with something deeply disturbing. She's infected with Peter August in her brain. Now, Peter is dead, so this isn't literal. What Anna is experiencing appears to be a severe psychological crisis where she's hearing Peter's voice and he's making her doubt everyone around her. The spoilers confirm that Anna is in her apartment this week with Peter right there talking in her ear about everybody. For a character who's always been so strong, capable, and certain, seeing Anna struggle with this kind of mental health crisis is both heartbreaking and deeply concerning. How do you trust your own judgment when you can't trust your own mind? How do you maintain relationships when a dead man's voice is whispering paranoia about everyone you love? Something horrifies Chase on Friday, and this may be about Willow being accused of being the other driver in some incident that's being investigated. Brooklyn and Chase are also coming to a new understanding, which may be about Willow and the complicated web they're all caught in. During this first week, there are other developments happening simultaneously. Danny and Charlotte run into each other at the Metro Court pool, and things may get tense because of the situation with him and Rocco. Justine and Sonny make time for romance after the whole life and death Sidwell crisis, showing that even in chaos, some relationships are finding peace. Lulu wants answers, and she may be grilling Carly about hiding Valentine, lying to her face for months, and going behind her back so Charlotte could visit her fugitive father. Imagine being Lulu in this moment. You've just been through the emotional devastation of thinking Nathan was back from the dead only to discover it was Cassius all along, and now Cassius is dead too. So that's going to feel like a double loss for both Maxie and Liesl Obrecht, though the spoilers suggest that Cassius might actually be alive. On top of that emotional trauma, Lulu discovers that Carly has been orchestrating secret family visits for Charlotte and Valentine behind her back. The betrayal must feel overwhelming. The spoilers describe Lulu chasing down Charlotte and dragging her away, ranting that they are not finished talking. That's not mild annoyance. That's a mother who feels completely betrayed and is trying to regain control of a situation that spiraled beyond her comprehension. Then we hit the week of July 13th through the 17th, and this is when everything fundamentally changes. Jason Morgan is back. His first air date is Monday, July 13th, and that date carries additional significance because it's also the milestone 16,000th episode of General Hospital. 16,000 episodes. Think about the history contained in that number, the stories told, the characters who've lived and died, the generations of viewers who've invested decades in this fictional community. And the show is marking this incredible milestone with Steve Burton's return as Jason Morgan. The spoilers indicate we might see WSB content in Indonesia rather than Jason immediately being back in Port Charles, but regardless of location, we're going to see Jason, and more importantly, we're going to see how captivity has changed him. The spoilers are explicit about this. Jason has decided to change how he lives his life after his time in captivity, and when Steve Burton returns, we're going to see Jason's whole character take a turn. His decision about his life is going to impact Danny, Britt, the Quartermaines, Anna, and especially Sonny. That last name is the most significant, especially Sonny. Jason and Sonny's relationship has been the backbone of General Hospital for decades. They're not just boss and enforcer or criminal associates, they're brothers in every way that matters except blood. Their loyalty to each other has been tested repeatedly and has always held firm. So if Jason is making life decisions that especially impact Sonny, we're talking about a fundamental shift in the power dynamics and personal relationships that have defined this show for years. What could Jason decide that would shake Sonny's world? Is he leaving the organization? Is he refusing to be the enforcer anymore? Is he challenging Sonny's authority or methods? Whatever it is, it's significant enough that the spoilers specifically call out Sonny as being particularly affected. Dean Gaillard makes his debut that Monday as Dr. Tristan Roberts, introducing a new character into this explosive landscape. During this second week, multiple storylines are reaching critical points simultaneously. Britt is grappling with the fact that she doesn't have Huntington's and never did, trying to process years of false belief and the cruel manipulation that created that belief. Anna is struggling with her Peter problem, with his voice making her doubt everybody around her, which is going to seriously complicate her reunion with Valentine. Carly still wants revenge on Jack for recruiting Jocelyn in, but it looks like her daughter doesn't want to leave the spy organization, which must be incredibly frustrating for a mother who just wants her child safe. Valentine is back in Carly's arms soon, but here's where things get really messy. Sonny doesn't like Carly being with Valentine, and he's gonna ask Britt to help split them up. Let that settle for a moment. Sonny Corinthos is actively plotting to sabotage Carly's relationship. After everything these two have been through together, all the years of marriage and divorce and co-parenting and complicated history, Sonny still can't let Carly go enough to accept her being with someone he disapproves of. The possessiveness and control issues this reveals are significant, and you have to wonder how Carly is going to react when she inevitably discovers what Sonny is doing. She's already enraged about multiple situations. Finding out her ex-husband is undermining her relationship is only going to amplify that fury. Lulu is dealing with more attitude from both Charlotte and Rocco, and then Charlotte is going to insist on moving out in coming days. For Lulu, this must feel like her family is disintegrating. First the Nathan Cash's emotional trauma, then discovering Carly's betrayal, and now her daughter is so angry she wants to leave. Britt should be out of jail soon and will make her way back to General Hospital, and it looks like she might actually get her job back, which would be remarkable given everything she's been through. Maxie and Jack are looking for evidence they need against Drew, and here's an interesting detail that could be critical. Colum took Jack's black box because Z was trying to find it and couldn't, so the question becomes, where did Colum put that black box, and will they be able to recover that evidence against Drew? This matters because Drew's recovery begins soon, and if he's recovering and there's no evidence against him, he might get away with whatever he's done. During this second week, other storylines are also developing. Ava and Ethan begin to explore some feelings, suggesting a new romantic possibility. Brooklyn's plot against Willow is going to blow up in her face in coming weeks, which feels like inevitable karma for orchestrating a frame job, even if it's exposing genuine wrongdoing. Tracy versus Lucy is happening soon, with the two battling over deception and possibly more, which promises to be explosive given both women's powerful personalities and history. Gio tries to smooth things over with his brother Rocco, showing that not all family conflicts in Port Charles are unsolvable. And Cody steps up for James in a way that's going to have a big impact on his relationship with Molly, demonstrating how one selfless action can transform a relationship's entire trajectory. So what is really happening here beneath all these individual storylines? At its core, these 2 weeks of General Hospital are about transformation and consequence, about the price of secrets and the impossibility of control. Jason Morgan is returning as a changed man, and that change is going to ripple through every major power structure and relationship in Port Charles. When the moral center of Sonny's organization decides to live differently, everything has to recalibrate. What does Sonny's world look like without Jason as his enforcer? What does Jason's life look like if he's not defined by loyalty to Sonny? These are questions the show hasn't had to seriously grapple with in years, and the answers will reshape the canvas. Carly is enraged because she's losing control of multiple situations simultaneously. Her daughter is making career choices Carly doesn't approve of and can't prevent. Her romantic relationship is being undermined by her ex-husband. The secrets she kept are being exposed and creating consequences she didn't anticipate. Carly has always been able to force outcomes through sheer determination and rage, but what happens when that doesn't work anymore? What happens when the people around her, including her own daughter, make decisions she disagrees with and refuse to back down? That loss of control is driving her fury, and the spoilers suggest that fury is only going to intensify. Britt's discovery that she never had Huntington's is perhaps the most emotionally complex storyline in these 2 weeks. This isn't just good news, this is a complete reconstruction of identity. Britt has defined herself for years by this diagnosis, made peace with a terrible future, pushed people away to protect them from watching her decline. And it was all based on a lie designed to manipulate and control her. The relief of not dying is going to be mixed with rage at the people who did this to her, grief for the years she lost living under this false diagnosis, and the complicated process of figuring out who she is when she's not a woman with a terminal illness. That's a profound psychological journey, and the fact that it's happening simultaneously with Jason's return and transformation creates interesting thematic parallels. Both characters are being forced to reconstruct their identities and their futures. Anna's struggle with hearing Peter's voice represents something we don't often see on soap operas, a serious exploration of psychological trauma and mental health crisis in a character who's always been portrayed as unbreakable. Anna has survived so much in her life, seen so much violence and betrayal, but Peter was her son, and the guilt and trauma of that relationship and how it ended is manifesting as this haunting voice that makes her doubt everyone. It's a sophisticated portrayal of how trauma can undermine even the strongest person's sense of reality and judgment. The revelation about Rocco shooting Colum and Danny's decision to expose that secret raises serious questions about children, violence, and protection in this world. Rocco acted in a moment of crisis, presumably to protect someone, and Jason told him to keep quiet, likely to protect Rocco from legal and psychological consequences. But Danny, who doesn't have all the information, thinks Rocco should confess to help Jason. Neither kid is wrong from their perspective, but Danny's choice to expose the secret is going to have consequences he doesn't understand. It's a storyline about how children get caught in adult conflicts and the impossible choices they're forced to make. Willow being set up by Brooklyn for something Willow actually did creates fascinating moral ambiguity. If someone commits a wrong and then someone else exposes it through questionable means, who's the villain? Willow apparently did something serious enough that the spoilers suggest she deserves the consequences coming her way. But Brooklyn is orchestrating a frame job, working with Lucy, possibly with Michael's knowledge or participation. So we have wrongdoing being exposed through more wrongdoing and no clear moral high ground. That complexity makes the story more interesting than a simple good versus evil narrative. The 16,000th episode milestone isn't just a number to celebrate. It represents the longevity and cultural impact of General Hospital, a show that's been on the air for over 6 decades, that's told thousands of stories about hundreds of characters, that's been part of American television history through massive cultural changes. The decision to mark this milestone with Jason's return signals that the show understands what's made it survive this long. It's not just the drama and the romance and the adventure. It's the characters that viewers have invested in for years or even decades, watching them grow and change and sometimes fundamentally transform. Jason's return on the 16,000th episode is a celebration of that history while simultaneously pushing the show forward into new territory. These spoilers promise confrontations that have been building for months, revelations that will shatter characters' understanding of their own lives, and emotional reckonings that will test every major relationship on the canvas. When Lulu confronts Carly about the Valentine deception, it's not just about one lie. It's about trust and motherhood and the question of when protecting someone crosses the line into betrayal. When Sonny asks Brick to help destroy Carly's relationship with Valentine, it's not just about jealousy or disapproval. It's about control and the inability to accept that someone you once possessed completely has moved beyond your influence and is making choices you can't dictate. When Danny pushes Rocco to confess and then exposes the secret himself, it's not just about getting Jason off the hook. It's about a kid who doesn't understand the complex adult world of consequences and protection and sacrificial loyalty, acting on incomplete information with the best intentions and potentially creating disaster. The 2 weeks starting July 6th through the 17th have been laid out. The real question is who these characters will be on the other side of all this chaos, and whether the Port Charles that emerges from Jason's return and Carly's rage and Britt's revelation and Anna's crisis will be recognizable as the town viewers have watched for decades, or something entirely new. That's what makes these spoilers so compelling. They're not just promising drama for drama's sake. They're promising fundamental change, and in a genre often criticized for circular storytelling and endless repetition, genuine character evolution and permanent consequences are the most shocking plot twists of all. When Jason Morgan decides he's no longer going to be who he was, when Carly Spencer discovers that fury doesn't equal control, when Britt Westborne learns her entire self-concept was built on a lie, we're not watching temporary conflict that will reset to status quo in a few weeks. We're watching transformation, and transformation is terrifying and exhilarating because you can't go back. The Port Charles that exists on July 17th is going to be fundamentally different from the Port Charles that existed on July 5th, and the characters navigating that transformed landscape are going to have to figure out who they are in this new reality. That's the story these 2 weeks are telling, and that's why General Hospital fans are absolutely